Opened in 1960 by Bruton Smith and NASCAR driving legend Curtis Turner, with the running of the longest stock car race in history, the World 600. The Charlotte Motor Speedway closed before it would ultimately become the home track of so many NASCAR teams. Just a year after the first race, the 1.5-mile oval track was in bankruptcy, done in by a huge infield rock formation that ballooned construction costs far beyond what its founders had forecast. Almost 60 years later, and nearly everything is different. More than 94,000 seats ring the Speedway, which was the first Speedway to install lights for night racing, the first track to incorporate a condominium apartment complex overlooking the racetrack, the first to build an office complex with the same view, the first racetrack to sell naming rights, the first to open a year-round club where members can spectate during races and socialize with club members at other times. Everything is different from 1960, except for one thing. Charlotte Motor Speedway still owned by the Smith family. Tonight, it's race number 1 of the Lonestar Racing Truck Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway for race 1 of the LSR Truck Series, presented by Dad Bod Studios. Never gets old. Justin Johnson helping us out with that one. Love it. Let's take a look at the race details for this evening. 100 laps the race distance, 73-degree ambient temperature, 94% humidity. A little damp out there this evening. Clear skies, though, 6-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp, very cool, which means very fast, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with 2 sets of tires over the wall. Count them 3 if you go with what they start the race on, and a 60% fuel load. We'll see how that affects everybody's strategies this evening. Qualifying already underway as the practice session has come to a close. Check some of the times right now. Ernest King, second quick on his first lap. $29.794 for King. He puts it top of the board. Mike Fahey, the number 19, 30.17 his first trip around. $29.948. Fahey jumps up to the 4th spot. Chris Goins on the Speedway, a late add to this session tonight. Chris going to run a limited schedule. Matt Sisler goes P1, 29.761. Want to let everybody know in the stream tonight, chat is open. If you didn't already notice, feel free to chime in. Tell us where you're watching from, who's your driver. Any other comments you've got, go for it. Just keep it PG, please. Try to make note of that mention on the broadcast tonight. Goins finishes lap 2, 29.828, 4th quick. Joshua Sisk in the number 6 Skunkworks Graphics Toyota Tundra TRD Pro as Derek Welch goes P1, 29.732. .2 first lap for Sisk. It seems lap 2 for everybody is the money lap. Qualifying comes to an end at the 5-minute mark. Sisk does not get his second lap in, so he's going to be stuck outside the top 10 in 13th. A couple drivers not taking a time in qualifying, so they're going to start at the rear in order of their I rating. But that's it. Qualifying in the books. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 29.732 seconds. It's the 01 from NTR. Derek Welch, outside front row from M3S Motorsports, 29 thousandths of a second shy. It's a 93 of Matt Sisler. Starting in the third spot, Kevin Winker in the number 42 with Ernest King to his right elbow. Row number 3, it's the 41 of Chris Goins from Track Bar Motorsports. Nick Biddy from Lowline Motorsports will start his number 32 machine in the 6th starting position. Ken Couch rolls 7th, with Mike Fahey from Lonestar Racing starting in the 8th position. 9th starter is going to be Brian Shepard in the number 88. Atlas Smith, 333, is going to start 10th. 11th starter, it's the 29 machine of Michael Ziegler. Might be saying it wrong, but we'll get that squared away. Randy Coaching, the 77, starts 12th. 13th starter, it's the 6 of Joshua Sisk. Keep a close eye on him tonight. He's going to be fast. League admin Kevin Grettenberger, the number 57, rolls from the 14th position. He's had his hands full tonight getting things situated, but going to be nice and calm behind the wheel of that race truck tonight. Tim Darby starts 15th. 16th starter, it's Bill Molfeld. And 17th goes to the 33 of Sean Roberts. That's your starting grid here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Field going to make likely one parade lap before we get underway. Once again, tonight's broadcast and race event presented by Dad Bod Studios, as we play all of our music all at the same time. Always good to have race sponsors. Appreciate them for jumping on board here tonight. Field begins to roll. Once again, the race details tonight. 100 laps the race distance, 150 miles. 2 sets of tires over the wall, 60% fuel load. Temperature coming down slightly, but the humidity not giving up, 94%. Clear skies, 7 mile per hour breeze. Track temp, nice and cool, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers are working with one faster pair this evening. We will have 2 green-white checkered attempts if it is called for, if necessary. And that's the scoop, the race details for tonight, in a nutshell.
Green flag.
Green flag is called for, the green drops, and we're underway. Welch takes the early lead through turn number 2. Battle for second, Sisler and Winker. Winker slipped just a bit at the bottom of the turn. Slid up the track just a bit. Did not make any contact. Everyone gets through that first set of corners without a problem. Now into 3 and 4. Welch leads them out of the corner. Then it's Sisler, King, Winker, and Goins, the top 5. Back to the start-finish line. Lap 1 in the books. Welch leads it. Sisler thought about going high to make a run there, looked in his mirror at the same time. He's already got company. Ernest King all over the tailgate, but Sisler's not waiting. He's going for the race lead here to the inside. Derek Welch in turn 3. Welch up the racetrack, still side by side. Sisler not clear just yet. They're going to drag race to start finish. It's only lap 2, folks. Don't get too excited. Sisler just about clear, could have slid up, chose not to. Close quarters into turn 1. Sisler's got it, and it's official. Now the battle for the second spot. King to the inside of Welch. Welch hung out on the high side, trying to find a way around that's going to work for him, but right now he's just sniffing the draft off of Sisler. Winker runs in the 4th spot. Chris Goins behind this mess just up ahead. On board with Chris Goins, looking forward to the top four. And caution on the Speedway. I think Derek Welch might be in trouble. Maybe it's not Derek Welch. Atlas Smith, possibly? Yes, indeed. Atlas Smith off turn 2. Got a false indicator that Welch had crashed on lap 1. That came up all of a sudden, but definitely not the case. Welch still runs second, but let's get a look what happened here to Atlas. 333 machine in trouble. Honestly, Atlas, I think he would have been in good shape if he didn't have a truck behind him. Mike Fahey gets collected in this. Atlas may have had the car cleared or made to have the car saved at that point. Wasn't meant to be. Take another look at it. It's out of turn 2. He slid up a bit, actually. Looks like he gets into the door of Sisk. He does a good job trying not to clean out the 6 machine, but unfortunately, in trying to save it, Mike Fahey gets a piece of it. So if you're here to watch Fahey wreck tonight, if you showed up late, you missed it. Six laps in, under our first yellow. Came out at lap 4. Fahey's in the pits here. I don't know if he's going to burn that fast repair just yet. Might be trying to fix it manually. Save that fast repair for later on. Truck's got damage, but it's not in terrible shape. Sean Roberts started near the end of the field here. It comes down pit lane. Likely to take on maybe just some fuel. Make some adjustments. I don't know. A 29-second stop for Roberts. Maybe he got a piece of that, picked up some damage. Either way, Fahey still sits in his pit box. Not sure if he's going to make it back out there. Sisler still shown as the leader. Pace car lights go out. Pace truck lights go out. Now, we don't see a bow tie in the grill of that truck, but we all know it's a Silverado. See Mike Fahey catching up to the back of the pack, standing on the brakes just to not run over the field. So our first restart of the season. Matt Sisler, Derek Welch on the front row. Pace truck hits pit lane. Barney's got the green in hand. He's going to give it a wave here.
Green flag.
We're underway once again from Charlotte. Lap 8 goes up on the board. Sisler gets clear of Welch into turn 1. Welch up the racetrack in the middle groove, locks it back down to the bottom in front of Winker. Winker into the third spot. He was about 4th. prior to the yellow. Ernest King now in the 4th spot. Nick Biddy up to 5th. Goins dropped a spot to P6. Winker taking a look. Thought about going to the inside for that 2nd spot on Derek Welch. Again, a 100-lap race here tonight, not really long. Oh, and the 333 of Atlas is around again, and Fahey's going to pick him up another time. Caution on the Speedway, big-time impact.
Clear on track right after that caution fell.
We got to double-check this. I think Fahey was a part of this wreck again. I tell you, if he didn't get into him, it was a miracle. If he did get into him, he doesn't have a whole lot of damage. The truck looks better right now than it did while he was in pit lane. Let's get a look at it again. Atlas just gets loose. Tank slaps the truck in the middle of 2. Slides it up the track. Overcorrects. Now he spins it around. Almost looked like he was going to go upside down. Got some air underneath that truck. It lifted the tires off the ground. And then he catches the wall opening at the perfect angle to rip the nose and front clip off that machine. Take another look at it from another angle. See him chasing up the racetrack. Mike Fahey going with the rule is you go straight for him. He should have been gone by the time I got there, man, but he wasn't. Let's try and get a look at that from Fahey's perspective here. See if we can see what it looked like for him. At full speed. This is the restart. We're going to stay with the 19 here through it. You can see he's right there with the 333. Fahey was trying to pick up some spots there in the early restart. Now you see the car that's going to spin. Atlas there, way up ahead there in the white tailgate. Like we got 1 lap in. And it's going to be out of turn 2. The 333 is going to get loose. Got to guess high or low. Unfortunately for Mike, he guessed low and he was wrong. So back up front, pace truck lights have gone out again. We're going to try this yet another time here. It'll be lap 13 when we take the green flag. Still going to be Sisler and Welch on that front row. Row 2 will be Kevin Winker and Ernest King. Then it's Brian Shepard up into the 5th spot. Michael Ziegler, Tim Darby, Nick Biddy, Chris Goins, Joshua Sisk, the top 10. Truck makes the hard left to pit road.
flag.
Green back in the air. Sisler on the throttle. Good restart for the 93. Now Winker to the inside of Derek Welch. Going to try and take that second spot into turn one. They'll continue to do battle. Winker takes the spot. Winker steps out of line, takes a peek, but nowhere close enough to make a run into the 93 of Matt Sisler. 14 laps complete. Sisler, your race leader. Then it's Winker, Welch, Shepard, and King. I think we're going to have a battle for the race lead here momentarily. Sisler still has it, but about a tenth, maybe two back is the 42 of Winker. Couple of laps, he's gained some ground on the 93. Derek Welch running in that third spot still. Brian Shepard fourth. Ernest King, who showed some pace very early stages of this race, has slipped back to the fifth position. Dick Biddy runs P6 where he started. Talked about Joshua Sisk having some pace for a possible pole run. Was unable to complete that second lap. Had to start back in the 13th position. Now finds himself up in the 7th position. And the battle for the lead. Sisler up top of the racetrack. Winker trying to attack on the bottom. Can't get it done. Switches lanes. Tucks in behind. Lap 19 goes up on the board. Sisler's still got the top spot. Winker caught the apron of the racetrack. I think a little more than he bargained for in the middle of 1 and 2. It sent him up the racetrack a bit. Loses a bit of ground. A truck length, maybe 2.5 now, back to the second spot. Battle for position. Ernest King trying to hold off Biddy. Biddy on the bottom side, the black, white, and red number 32. Still trying to take that fifth spot away. Biddy unable to complete the pass. King hangs on to the fifth spot. Tucks in behind Brian Shepard. Shepard should be the number 88 truck. It's listed as such. He's driving a number 35, just so you guys are confused. Just to make it look so you see who is what. Brian Shepard in that number 35, the green and gray machine. But in the timing tower, you see him there in P4. It's listed as the number 88 truck. We'll get that squared away hopefully by next week. No big deal, but now that you know who's who. comes Joshua Sisk. Maybe he can take that 5th spot. Gets clear of Nick Biddy. Biddy loses connection. We've seen that a couple of times, not just here in the trucks, but in other series as well. Biddy losing connection momentarily. Looks like Biddy's going to try and follow Sisk on through and pick up another spot himself. King may lose 2 out of this, but he's battling back on the outside. Biddy not giving up either, sticking to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3. Sisler still out in front. Winker about 2/10 back. We watch this battle for the 6th position. Biddy drives it in deep, gets clear. King's going to have to tuck underneath. So on to turn number 2. Nick Biddy moves himself back into the 6th position. Ernest King dropping back now. He's down 3 spots from the drop of the green flag, currently running 7th. Now up topside, Michael Ziegler. Ziegler in the black number 29, backdoor racing entry. First I thought it was unsponsored, but he's got some pretty clever spec mapping going on that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Kevin Grettenberger running in the 9th spot, just recently getting up into the top 10. Kevin started 14th here tonight, quietly working his way forward. Grettenberger, the very good-looking Arctic paint scheme on that number 57. Grettenberger's got some company as he tries to apply some pressure to Ernest King, but Chris Goins has come up into the mix as well. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead once again. Winker gets to the inside of Matt Sisler at the stripe. Sisler still leads. Derek Welch has caught these two as they start to battle for that top spot. And Joshua Sisk continues to quietly work his way through the field. He's in the 4th position. Sisler stretches it back out to a 10th and a half over the 42. Off turn number 2, top 4 under a blanket for the time being, but Sisk is still working his way towards the front. Got to keep an eye on that number 6 truck. "30 laps in here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Right now, one truck no longer on the lead lap. It's the 333 of Atlas Smith. Smith responsible for our first and only 2 cautions. Sustained significant damage in the second incident. I think he has made his way back to the racetrack. Now 2 laps down. Sisler and Winker stretch it out again over Derek Welch in that 3rd position. Winker way down low once again. He's seen him do that earlier, except it was turn 2, and it's turn 2 again. Left side's below that blue line. It's in fair territory if you want to use a baseball term. But man, it really makes that truck turn, and in some cases, maybe a little bit too much. A little bit of bump. Upset the balance of the 93 of Matt Sisler as they come back to the stripe. Winker's got position on the 93 through the dog leg into turn number 1. Might have a shot at it here, but I think Sisler's going to hang on the outside, carry a little bit more momentum around the corner, keep Winker on the bottom of the racetrack. Like Winker was going to try and tuck back in. There he does. Welch again, as these two battle, they get caught up to the top two, but Josh Sisk is coming, and he's going to look to the inside of Derek Welch for the third spot. Great battle here at the front of the field for not only the top two positions, but third and fourth as well, as Sisk gets clear of Derek Welch, move him up into the third spot for the first time today. Tower operator asks, when will they pit? It's a good question. I would imagine pretty soon. Again, they have a 60% fuel load for this particular race. So here it is. They're coming right now. Race leaders off of the racetrack into pit lane. Matt Sisler, Kevin Winker come down at the same time. That's going to give Sisk the race lead here, lap 34. You got to wonder if the tower operator already knew the answer to that question. Either way, good looking entry for both drivers, Sisler and Winker. Let's see if they got in clean and got it below pit road speed. They both leave the stall, so I guess they did okay. It's fuel only for both drivers. Brian Shepard, he'll come down. Again, I'm not sure if Shepard just forgot to load the right paint, but he's displaying a 35 on the truck. He is listed as the number 88. Could also be a problem in the league session as far as who's got what number, because typically they will assign numbers for the leagues. Derek Welch on pit lane. Agonizingly slow. Welch comes to the stop in his pit box. Looks like going to be fuel only for Derek as well. Sisk flashes by. Welch is parked in his pit stall. He completes his pit work. So right now the top 9 drivers still need to make a pit stop. But if you were keeping score early on, these guys made a pit stop at lap 10. During the caution. Tower operator says that Winker likes to short pit. I don't even know if it was a short pit, because unfortunately I can only see the lap of the most recent pit stop. I don't know if he made a stop prior during those initial 2 cautions. So it could have been a short pit, or maybe it was time. Hard to say. Usually I get a chance to talk to somebody pre-race and find out what the fuel window is, but wasn't the case tonight. Meanwhile, Sisk still out in front. Nick Biddy runs in the second spot. Then it's Chris Goins, Kevin Grettenberger up into the top 5. Mike Fahey running 5th, even after being involved in the first 2 cautions with Atlas Smith as well. Roberts in the number 33. He's up 11 spots in 6th place. Again, still needing a pit stop here relatively soon. Everybody from 9th on up, basically all of your lead lap trucks right now, they made their pit stop at lap 10 just to top off. Obviously, they didn't take tires at that point because we'd already had 2 cautions. Sisler right now in front of Kevin Winker. He's the first truck 1 lap down. So if the caution were to come out, he'd get that lap back. Winker wants that spot. He wants to be in that lucky dog position. Also, if we cycle through green flag, he'll end up with the race lead. But man, Winker awfully aggressive on the back bumper of Matt Sisler. Sisler uses Fahey as a pick as Fahey comes to pit road. And Winker all over Sisler like a cheap suit, 42 laps in. Might see these guys come down and make their pit stops here in the next 6 or so laps, maybe a little bit less, we'll see. Some more chatty in the chat. We got, let's see, talked about tower operator, Sean Arita in there as well. Dylan Bryant says, let's go DW, NTR. K-Dub was in there earlier, that's Kevin Winker. Still watching this battle, though. This is fun to watch between Sisler and Winker. It seems like Winker might actually be a little bit quicker than Sisler right now, but I don't know if it's just a lack of clean air or the scenario or not enough momentum. Can't seem to get clear. Meanwhile, race leaders making their pit stops. Joshua Sisk leaving pit lane right now. Looks like Sisk actually took 4 tires on this stop, so that's going to cost him a little bit of track position, but he's likely to make a lot of that back up with the better tires. Through that cycle, though, back to the lead goes the 93 of Matt Sisler. Winker now runs second. Sisk, even with his long pit stop, shown in third. Granted, he's about 3.5 seconds back. It's not terribly surprising. It's about where these guys were prior to everybody starting to make their first round of green flag stops. That said, though, looks like everyone's got their pit stops in order and completed. We're going to jump out and get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. You won't miss a moment of the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, just past halfway, race number 1 of the Lonestar Racing Truck Series, presented by Dad Bod Studios. Check them out on TikTok. Meanwhile, you've seen a change for the race lead. Joshua Sisk is your new leader. Nick Biddy still second. Goins up to third. Ernest King fourth. Sean Roberts fifth. Look back down the line here. You got Matt Sisler in seventh and Kevin Winker running in the 8th spot. They didn't make a mistake. They didn't crash. They didn't have a major problem, but you have to keep in mind, they made their pit stops a little bit sooner than the race leader currently. Sisler and Winker both came down lap 33. Race leaders in the top 3 at least pitted at lap 42, so you see the differential in time as far as their lap times are concerned with those fresher tires. It's only about 9 laps different, but it does make a difference. Sisk 3.5 seconds out in front as he comes up on the 333. Atlas Smith. Smith back out there just trying to finish this one out. Catching back up on the stream chat, Dylan Bryant says, I wanted to race tonight, but got caught in traffic and didn't have time to get stuff in order. Oh, we look forward to seeing you next week, Dylan. Glad you're running this series. Nick Biddy back in the second position. A couple truck lengths behind is Chris Goins in the number 41 machine. Some more pit stops underway. Mike Fahey headed down pit lane. Fahey was also a part of our first and only 2 cautions with Atlas Smith. Fahey fared a little bit better in those incidents, damage-wise. Right side tires going on the 19. Left side tires now as well. This could be the first set of tires Mike's used tonight. We'll see if this is enough to help him build some more track position, catch back up. He'll have the pace for sure. Derek Welch, a couple laps ago, did the same. Welch running 14th. Remember, he started outside front row. He's battling with the race leaders, well within the top 5 prior to the first round of stops. Bill Mofeld up the racetrack. Don't think he got a piece of the wall, but it was close. And Matt Sisler is going to come down and pit again. Remember, lap 33 was his first pit stop. Now, mind you, that pit stop was without tires. Okay, so Joshua Sisk out in front. Nick Biddy and Chris Goins, they all did take tires on that first round. Some of the guys did not. So that, again, explains the difference. I know we said there was only about a 9-lap differential between the two, but wasn't paying attention to the actual pit stop time of those guys. They went fuel only on the last stop. So looks like Sisler's tired of being out there getting run over because he's too slow with those old tires. Time for some fresh Goodyears. Bolts a set of 4 on, and he's down and away. 14.87 seconds the pit stop for Sisler. A good pit stop. Really enjoying these drone cameras, courtesy of Whiplash Sim Cams. Appreciate them helping us out with those. Andrew over at Whiplash is doing a great job updating those cameras for 2024. Nick Biddy in the second spot. Clearly has pace, but Fahey with the fresher tires is going to be that much faster. You really can see the differential. The delta between the drivers with new versus old tires. One truck very slow in the dog leg, which sends Biddy up the racetrack into Goins. A little bit of contact there. Really lucky to not turn into a big one there. 40 laps to go here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Joshua Sisk still out in front with a 3.2 second advantage over Nick Biddy, Chris Goins, Sean Roberts, Ernest King, the top 5. You think Matt Sisler's in a hurry? Last lap for Sisler, his fastest of the night, 29.895. Not only of the night for him, but fastest lap out of every driver in the field right now. Trying to get caught up, take full advantage of those fresh tires. Problem is, you don't want to beat them up too soon. Battle for second. Chris Goins looking to the outside of Nick Biddy. Biddy's going to close the door, at least try to. Goins working the outside. He's going to have a run off turn 2 here. Down the backstretch, a drag race ensues. Difference here is there's no shutdown area at the end of that strip. It's a left-hand turn. Goins keeps it up topside still to build some momentum out of the corner, and he's going to be clear. Goins takes second. Biddy losing connection for a brief moment again. Currently 11 trucks on the lead lap. Watch Kevin Grettenberger here in the 9th position, working on Ken Couch, who wants to take that 8th spot. Brian Shepard in the number 88. Oh, there it is. It works now. Remember earlier on in the race, Shepard was in the number 35 machine. Something clicked. I'm sure he didn't do anything during the race to fix that. So you got to kind of get out of the car and start clicking things to make it better. But glad he's in that right scheme. Now it looks familiar. More pit stops underway. Ernest King finishes up his pit work. Looks like he took some tires as well. Brian Shepard's going to pull down. Expect this to be a 4-tire change for the 88 of Brian Shepard. There it is. Jack goes underneath the left side of the race truck. 4 tires and Sunoco race fuel. Shepard down and away. 14:53. Good stop. So as we cycle through some more green flag stops, we're in that predicament where we've got more cars a lap down, more trucks a lap down than we have not. And that'll obviously cycle back through once these pit stops are completed out. I think we should have about 10 or 11 trucks in the lead lap at the end of the pit cycle, but we've got a lot of different strategies at play right now. You've got some drivers finishing up their pit stops right now. You've got others on the track, mostly the guys in the top 3 or 4 or 5 here that are going to need to make a pit stop relatively soon, but they've got a little bit longer to go. They stayed out a bit longer. Remember Matt Sisler, he came down and he pitted lap 56, but his first stop was 9 laps before our current race leaders. So all things being equal, maybe we'll see race leaders come down here in about a handful of laps. Meanwhile, Sisk still enjoying a 3.5 second advantage over the second place machine of Chris Goins. Sisk, Goins, and Biddy, your top 3, they all came down and pit at the same time the last round. Lap 42, all took 4 tires. Sean Roberts, who runs fourth, he took 4 tires on lap 40. Fifth place, Randy Coaching, lap 41, also taking 4 tires. Now, I'm going to anticipate these leaders are going to probably bolt on their last set this next pit stop, and I have a feeling they're going to take it all the way to the end of the fuel load before they peel off and hit pit road as it is, so they can have fresh tires for the longest distance to the finish. Sisk continues to pull away from second place Chris Goins. And Sean Roberts on pit road. Roberts into the pit stall neatly. Right side's go in the air. And race leader Joshua Sisk pulls down pit lane as well. You see that in the distance. 4 tires and fuel for Sean Roberts. Race leader Joshua Sisk brings the Skunkworks Graphics.com Toyota Tundra TRD Pro to the attention of his crew, likely for the final stop of the afternoon. Right side tire change. I don't expect 2 tires here. He's got the time to change 4. You might as well. There it is. 4 tires and fuel. Sisk down and away. 14.7 seconds. Second place, Chris Goins. Third place, Nick Biddy pull off. Goins was the race leader at the time. It's going to be 4 tire changes for everybody all the way around. Goins down and away. Now back out front, Matt Sisler with the race lead. Started this thing off that way. He's going to inherit the top spot again. But he's got a hard charge in Josh Sisk, reeling him in a hurry. Half a second, 4/10 of a second, and closing now 3/10 of a second. You see the difference. Sisler pitted lap 56. Sisk came down just a couple of laps ago. He's going to be much faster and at the line. Sisk may have led that lap. We've got 26 remaining. And I'm starting to wonder here if Sisler can even make it to the end. He might need to stop another time, whereas I think Sisk could be good to go. Sisk pit, I believe, previous to this at lap 42. He should be good to go to the end if we stay green. Now, if caution comes out, that changes things, but he doesn't have any tires left, so I don't think he needs to pit anyway. Here comes Sisler. He's going to make his final pit stop with 25 laps remaining. There it is. Sisler's going to take his final set of tires. Does he gamble with 2? Nah, I didn't think so. Strategy not working well for the 93 here tonight. He went from the race lead down to 14th. And he's lost a lap in the time being. So Sisk, your leader, Goins second, now 5.8 seconds in the rears. Then it's Ernest King, Nick Biddy, Sean Roberts. That's your top 5. Kevin Winker, who's shown pace here tonight. He runs in P6. Truthfully, I don't know if Winker can make it to the end without a caution either. His pit stop came at lap 64. Goins able to just to run unchallenged for the time being in the second position. Derek Welch back in the top 10. Atlas Smith still running out the 17th spot, but I got to hand him some credit here. He's continuing to run this race and not give up. Started off a little shaky, brought out our only cautions of the night. Very similar incidents, honestly. Car got loose, truck got loose. Overcorrected and around it went. I don't like seeing this, though. It almost seems like he's trying to race the 88 truck. It's not a position. Shepard running in the 10th spot. Atlas is 17th. But again, I still got to give him some credit. Trying to finish this thing out, not just throw in the towel. Get those so precious laps in. Seat time helps. 5 years ago when I first jumped on this sim, I thought I made a big mistake in investing the money in the hardware, the computers, the service itself, buying a year up front before I'd even turned a lap. I couldn't turn a lap. Now things are much different. I wouldn't say I'm great by any means, but at least I can race. But it takes time. And Atlas doing a good job trying to get that seat time in. Derek Welch still running in the top 10 in the 10th spot. Oh, a little issue there. Oh, if he slid up the racetrack. No, he's coming to pit lane. Atlas almost ran him over. Some leagues you're required to call out when you're pitting so you don't surprise anybody behind you. I don't think that's a requirement here. The same token, I don't know if Derek just kind of missed his mark a bit because he did slide up the racetrack as he got into the corner knowing that he was going to pit. Maybe he didn't get on the binders when he anticipated doing so. Nevertheless, he got away with it clean. In the pit box with his final set of tires. Bill Molfeld in the 911 Chevrolet, top side. Again, not a battle for position. Molfeld listed in the 14th spot. Meanwhile, Mike Fahey on pit lane. Likely to be Mike's last stop of the night. Back into the top 5, Sean Roberts running 4th, the number 33 behind him is the 24 of Ernest King. Also want to mention that Chris Goins is gaining ground on the race leader, Joshua Sisk. It was almost 6 seconds, about 10 laps to go. Now it's down to 3.7. I don't think Josh is having any issues, maybe encountering some lap traffic, hard to say. Goins is running a little bit quicker lap times, at least the last couple. He's been a 10th and a half to 2.5 tenths quicker than Sisk. 14 laps to go. Yeah, I think that's really the issue right now is Sisk is encountering some lap traffic. Ken Couch was a lead lap truck, was really doing his best to try and stay there, as is his right. Now, if you're 5, 6, 7, 8 laps down, let the leaders go, but if you're still on a lead lap, go ahead and fight it out. It's going to frustrate the hell out of the leader, but Don't roll over. 12 laps to go from Charlotte. Sisk still out in front. Chris Goins 3.4 seconds back. About half the distance of the backstretch. Nick Biddy runs third. About the same distance back. And loses connection again for a moment. Sean Roberts in the number 33 Ford Bronco. I've seen a Bronco with a bed, I guess. Maybe if it was custom, but either way, it's a good-looking paint scheme. Biggest mover on the day, Sean Roberts, up 13 positions. Started 17th. Dead last. Ernest King, who looked very fast earlier on in the race, the first handful of laps, he seemed to be really a challenger, but has fallen back and kind of found himself sitting in that 5th position, which obviously not a bad thing. The one thing that we see drivers make a mistake on so often is trying to overdrive. And by overdrive, I don't mean necessarily just beat on the race truck or the race car for that matter, but in the instance, okay, well, I got a 5th place truck today, but let's try and drive it up to 3rd place. Well, with that mentality, you end up finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, or in the fence. I think Ernest King realized, okay, I'm a top 5 truck today. Let's at least get that done, and he's doing a good job of that. Oh, he's coming to pit lane, though, with 9 laps to go. I think he was trying to hope for a caution, but he's not going to get it. Coming to pit road here with 9 laps left in this race. Got to top off the fuel. I would almost just splash and go. I don't know if he's got tires left. He did take a set of 4 the last pit stop. Don't know about his first one. King into the box. And it's going to be fuel only. I almost would have thought going with right sides only. It would have been another second or two, but don't necessarily want to give up that track position. But King is down and away. Listed in 11th. Strategy's going to bite him, I believe, unless something crazy happens. Jones now 2.7 seconds back from Josh Sisk, and he's in some lap traffic again. The problem is the more trucks you lap, the faster they are as you get to them. Derek Welch started outside front row. He had pace tonight. Did a real good job battling within the top 5, but Sisk trying to lap him now. He's got some wiggle room out the back window. He doesn't necessarily have to. And I guess the question remains, does Joshua Sisk have enough to go all the way to the end of this race without fuel? We assume he's good to go. Winker gives the race leader the space. So Kevin Winker in 8th, now a lap down. Kevin Grettenberger up into P6. Meanwhile, Michael Ziegler is going to hit pit road. Tough break for the 29 as he's going to have to top off the tank as well, at least a splash and go to finish this one off. I think there's a big piece of sheet metal right in the groove in the middle of 3 and 4. No? Joshua Sisk across the stripes. Going to put 4 laps to go. Top 6, the only trucks on the lead lap presently. The next to go down a lap would be the 57 of Kevin Grettenberger. Limited lap traffic out in front of the 6 of Joshua Sisk. A couple of trucks that he might catch before this one's over, but they're about a corner away. Still enjoying a 3.4 second advantage over second place Chris Goins as he's back to the line. It'll be 2 laps to go. Sisk now dealing with the 88 of Brian Shepard. I think Shepard might be on some fresher tires. Indeed he is. He pitted lap 87, put 4 fresh Goodyears on, so he's going to likely drive away a bit here from Joshua Sisk. No worries though. Shepard running in the 11th spot. Sisk got a turn number 4, back to the dog leg, white flag, final lap from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Chris Goins, you see him in the distance, not close enough to make a charge. 3 seconds plus in the rear view of the 6. And Joshua Sisk off turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Sisk takes the win. Chris Goins comes home in the 2nd spot. Nick Biddy will pick up P3. Fireworks off turn number 2. Rather uneventful race tonight. Not any major incidents, just a couple of spins out of the 333 that collected Mike Fahey both times. Josh Sisk going to celebrate here on the front stretch. Sisk parks his truck at start finish, celebrates his win. First one of the season, first race of the season. Nick Biddy going to touch noses here. Nice job. Can do a double burnout here? No. That's that. We're going to step aside, get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I need to cut across 8 lane. None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, race number 1 of the LSR Truck Series in the books. Joshua Sisk started off with a bang, taking the checkered flag. Well, I want to talk to him here about qualifying, as he was not able to complete the full 2 laps in that qualifying session. Ended up starting in the 13th spot, but worked his way through, picked up 12 positions, and eventually went on to drive to a checkered flag. Josh Sisk, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Turn you up here, Josh. Try it again.
Yes, sir.
There we go, loud and clear. Josh, congratulations for starters. Awesome job on the win here tonight. Want to go back to qualifying. It was a 5-minute session, and about 3/4 of the way through that second lap, time expired. Was there just a miscalculation on how long it was going to take? Because it seemed like you were on a heater.
I 100% was about to set myself on the pole by at least a tenth, and there was a serious miscalculation on my part on how many seconds I needed to have to leave pit road, so I kind of threw that one away and put it down the drain, but it kind of worked itself out. Turned out not to matter in the end.
Well, you took your time. You were patient working your way through the field. That's the way it's got to be sometimes, but eventually through some pit strategy and just good pace, you end up jumping back out in front. You got those guys that were fast early, kind of off cycle. Walk us through any kind of game plan that you may have had coming into tonight to do that. Was that the intent?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the caution flew at lap 10, and I was looking at 29 and a half laps of fuel on a full run making pace, and I knew that if we hit at 10 and just slowed the pace down, a couple tenths a lap toward the end of the run will save you a ton of fuel. And I didn't understand why the whole field didn't pit. I mean, it was a no-brainer to me, 2-stopper to the finish, and thankfully it worked out that way and it went green.
Now, you took that last set of tires on your final pit stop. Was there any concern about a potential caution that may come out?
Well, for sure, and I really rode hard. I saved as much as I could. I was watching Chris. I think I had 7.5 seconds or so once we cycled through, and I just was watching his lap times and managing the gap, trying to save as much as I could. If a yellow did come out, I felt pretty prepared unless somebody had an extra set, and there's not a lot you can do about that. If somebody managed to stay on the lead lap and have that extra set, good on them, right?
Good on them for sure. Well, starting off the season with a race win, that's certainly a great way to go. We're also starting the season here at Charlotte Motor Speedway a little bit different. And in fact, as I look through the schedule, I think we've only got one super speedway, and that comes later in November. Moving on next week, we're going to be at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, a track that's certainly known for destroying tires. What's the game plan next week to take care of the rubber underneath that truck and maybe pick up 2 in a row?
Yeah, I think we'll just really be is patience. Don't get down in the middle of the corner trying to make any speed. Just let everybody gain on you on the entry, and I'll see you 15 laps and go do the Kevin Harvick route. Just give it up early and take 2 times what you give up on the back end.
Well, there you go, Josh. Again, congratulations on the win here tonight. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
I appreciate you carrying the broadcast tonight. Lonestar for letting me race. We were kind of last-minute additions, me and Nick. SkunkWorksGraphics.com, Alan Grote does an amazing job on wrapping all these vehicles that I run. Monday night, we have a different wrap every week, it feels like. And then the Sis Speed Shop, we are doing lessons and doing league setups, custom league setups, whatever you like, what we can do it. And, I'm just ready for another week of this. Too bad we got 7 days to go.
All right, Josh. Well, again, congratulations. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck next week in Atlanta.
Thank you, sir.
Josh Sisk, your race winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the driver of the Popple Pro number 41 F-150 from Track Bar Motorsports. It's going to be Chris Goins. Chris, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, Steve. I got you. What's going on?
Chris, congratulations, man. A top 3 run, second place runner-up here at Charlotte, and I don't think you were even planning on running this until about 20 minutes before we went green. So walk us through the race. Was there any strategy coming into tonight? I know Charlotte's one of your better tracks.
Yeah, this is my home track, so I always look forward to racing here in pretty much anything. But, I was able to jump in, get a little bit of practice. Like you said, it was a kind of a last-minute thing to jump in here with these guys. So ran a little bit of practice there to kind of see what the fuel range was looking like, saw what the race was. I knew any caution that came out around lap 10, I was coming in to top off no matter where I was running, because then I could, in theory, if it stayed green, make it on 2 stops and use those 2 sets of tires without having to really double stint anything. So Luckily, we got that caution on like lap 9 and came into pit and then just stayed green. So rest is history, I guess.
Definitely showed some speed out there. Again, being your home track, that certainly helps with limited practice. Next week, again, I know you're not necessarily running the full schedule here. Again, this was a last-minute help the guys out type scenario. Is there a chance we could see you at Atlanta?
Possibly. It just kind of depends. It's like I was telling the guys earlier. It really just depends on if I'm needed or not and I'm available. If I'm not needed, I probably won't run it just because of other commitments and stuff. But if needed and I'm available, then I'll certainly jump in and help.
Well, good to hear it, Chris. Again, thanks for coming out here and running tonight. A strong run with the runner-up finish. Who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, all the guys over at Track Bar Motorsports. I'm flying solo in here. I don't think there's anybody else, but so shout out to those guys. We run, quite a bit during the week, so it's kind of weird having being in here in a quiet room by myself. So, but Popple, HBR TV, appreciate you coming in and doing these broadcasts. They're always fun to go back and watch. Track Bar Media, that S4 guy on Twitch. Castle Products, Eric Dotson, State Farm Agency. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but I hadn't been up here in a while, so we'll get it right next time.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks again, man. Good to talk to you, and good luck at the next one we see you at.
I appreciate it, Steve. Have a good night.
Too. Chris Goins, your runner-up here from Charlotte. Next, we're going to talk to the driver, the number 32 G&G Marine entry. That's Nick Biddy. Had a strong run here tonight. Ends up with a third-place finish after starting in the 6th spot. Nick, it's Steve in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Steve. How's it going, bud?
It's going, Nick. Congratulations, man. A strong run here tonight. Kept all the fenders on it and drove it to a third-place finish. How was your race?
It was pretty good. Had a 0X. That's good for something, right?
That's good for everybody. Well, it's important, obviously, the 0X to those that don't know. Obviously, that X is the strike, I guess you could call it. It's if you make contact with another driver or drive off the track or hit the wall and that sort of thing. So finishing out completely clean. That's why all the fenders are still on this race truck. But what was your plan coming into tonight? We know you're reasonably clean when you're out there, obviously fast. What was the pit strategy decisions? Was just kind of follow the leader out there? I know you ended up off cycle compared to some of the drivers that are out there competing.
Well, I think we kind of ended up on cycle or on the correct cycle. I kind of wanted to go to on the first caution. I think it was like 5 laps in or something like that. But Caleb Sisk said, let's wait one more time. Maybe they'll wreck one more time. And so it lucked out that they wrecked again in another, lap 10, I think. And so that put us where we could take fuel and tires every time we pit. And I think that was the correct way to go. Especially since it went clean, went caution free.
Certainly worked out in the end. We look forward now to what could be a bit of a home race for you with the old Atlanta Motor Speedway next week. Of course, it's the old layout, so it's going to chew up some tires. Any tips or tricks you want to give anybody for saving those tires?
Heck no, I don't want to tell them nothing, man. No. Hopefully it's not hot, right? The heat will make it worse. I guess we'll just let off early and let it roll in there, right, and drive it off smooth. That's what they say.
Well, fair enough, Nick. So far, so good. Starting things off on a positive note here at Charlotte. Who do you want to thank, man, before I let you go?
Yeah. Let me thank my sponsors, G&G Marine. Check that guy out. He's up in Saudi Daisy, Tennessee, selling duck boats and fishing boats. Obviously, my kids, Cameron, Coley, and Cora. We've got Cora. She's over here, a little riding shotgun, watching us tonight.
Nice.
And then the one and the only, my beautiful smoking hot wife, Jessie Biddy. Thank you, baby, for watching and letting us do this.
Hell yeah, man. Nick, congratulations. Great interview, great thinking, and hopefully you have a good run next week out at Atlanta. Thanks for talking to us.
I appreciate it, bud. Thank you.
It's Nick Biddy, your third-place finisher here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's going to wrap up our top 3 interviews. With that, let's go to the race results. Take a look at that. Of course, we talked to Josh Sisk, Chris Goins, Nick Biddy. 4th-place finisher Sean Roberts. Got to give him a big pat on the back. Biggest mover, I guess, your Hard Charger Award. Started dead last here today. Finishes in the 4th spot. Randy Coaching came home in the 5th position. Kevin Grettenberger, another strong run. He was up 8 positions to finish in P6. Ken Couch was 7th. Matt Sisler came home in the 8th spot. Ernest King was 9th. Derek Welch, 10th. 11th, Brian Shepard. Mike Fahey finishes in the 12th spot. Mike Ziegler was 13th. Kevin Winker, 14th. Bill Molfeld, 15th. Atlas Smith, 16th. And Tim Darby finishes out in the 17th position, 9 laps down. Thank you guys all, of course, for tuning in tonight. We were a little touch and go with the car count, but we got it squared away. If you didn't make the race tonight and you plan on running, get in touch with Kevin Grettenberger with Lonestar Racing. He's your admin for this. I think Sean Roberts is another contact you can reach out to if you have any interest in running the league. It's going to be a fun season. Again, we got Charlotte, of course, was tonight. We got Old Atlanta. Then we go to Iowa, the Glen, Richmond, Pocono, Darlington, Michigan, Bristol, Homestead, Gateway, Talladega, Dover, Indianapolis, Las Vegas, and then Phoenix at the end of the season. This runs from obviously today all the way through December the 12th, get you wrapped up before Christmas, and be a good time had by all. We've been covering Lone Star Racing's different leagues and series for almost since the very beginning of HPR TV. They've been a loyal supporter of us, and we're happy to cover these races for them. They always put on a good show. New leadership over in the LSR side as far as running the leagues. That's, again, like I said, Kevin Grettenberger and Sean Roberts. Give them some time. They'll get it figured out. I think they got this one handled pretty well. They did a great job last minute getting some extra drivers in here to fill out the rest of the field. But there should be 24, 25, 26 guys signed up and ready to go. Should be a fun one next week out at Old Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to do it for us. If you haven't already done so, like, follow, subscribe us at youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. It does help us quite a bit. Gets fresh eyeballs if you click that like button on the streams. It also helps out the league. You get some fresh eyes, potential drivers as well. Congratulations to Josh Sisk on the race win. We'll see you at the next one, guys. Have a good night.